Welcome to the Self-Reliant Living Show, where we talk all about a self-reliant lifestyle to save money, live greener, eat healthier, and be prepared for anything so you can take care of the ones you love in good times and bad. I'm your host, Jennifer Osich, a homeschooling mom of 3 boys. I'm the author of the Preparedness Planner series, and my husband and I are the lead teachers of Self-Reliant School, a website dedicated to giving you the skills and confidence to take care of yourself and your community. Be sure to stop by and pick up your free videos from inside Self-Reliant School that will get you started growing, cooking, and preserving your own food today. You can pick these up at selfreliantschool.com/free. Now, on with the show. Hello, welcome. Come on in, and if you were there, please let me know, comment, and let me know what the weather is like where you are and what you're drinking. I've got hot tea today, hot green tea, because it is cold outside. It's in the 20s here in Texas, so that is cold for us. But come on in and let me know that you're there. I am monitoring comments over here. I feel a little bit out of my element because I'm usually sitting down and I've got everything pretty compact, but today I've got questions here, and then I've got my notes here, and I've got the Instant Pot here, so I've got all this stuff. So I'm going to be looking all around and trying to get my bearings. But welcome, and like I said, I'm going to be monitoring the comments here. Hello, Marilyn. Hello, Michelle. Come on in, and hot coffee. And yeah, Michelle, tell me what you're drinking. Okay. What I'm going to do today is something a little bit different. I'm going to get started so that we can go ahead and have our mac and cheese cooking, and then we're going to talk a little bit about the Instant Pot, and then we'll do our housekeeping notes, and I'll explain who I am and all of that in just a second. But right now I want to go ahead and get this on so we can talk while it's cooking. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to make mac and cheese in the Instant Pot, and this is going to be a real food mac and cheese with a whole wheat, and then I have some raw milk cheese here, and I have some cream. Okay, so all I'm going to do to start this, like I said, I'm getting my bearings here because this is all new, so I got to find room to do everything. What I'm going to do is I'm going to take 1 pound of whole wheat noodles, and I've got elbow macaroni here. So I'm just going to go ahead and put all in there. Then I have 3 3/4, just under 4 cups of water here. And then I'm going to put that all in there. Then I have about 3 tablespoons of butter, and I'm going to put that in there. And I have just about a half a teaspoon or so of salt, and I'm going to put that in there. It's mineral salt, my favorite. Okay, and that's it. Maybe I'll stir it just a little bit, just get the noodles under the water, and that's it. Then I'm going to take my top to the Instant Pot. I've got my sealing ring in there, and remember, it doesn't matter which way it goes. There's no upside down or right side. Both sides are the same, so you just go ahead and put it on there. And I'm going to put it on. This is usually backwards for me, so give me just a second here to get it on. I'm going to put it on like this, and then what I'm going to do is I'm going to set it for 4 minutes at high pressure. And I'm going to do that pushing the manual button, and then I'm going to navigate to 4 minutes. So you can go ahead and hold that, and it'll go in larger increments. I just want to make sure that I do not miss it. And there's 4, and that's all I need to do. It's going to beep here in just a second to tell me that it is going. I'm just going to make sure, double check that my venting handle is to sealing, because I do want it to come up to pressure. So I double check that. We're good there. And so you heard it beep, and so it is cooking. So now we can talk just a little bit. Welcome to the Self-Reliant Living Show. Can you tell I was nervous that it wasn't going to get done, but I think it will. It only takes a couple of minutes. Okay, so let me just start from the beginning and take care of a couple of housekeeping things. Welcome to the Self-Reliant Living Show. There are several ways that you can watch this show. You can watch on Facebook Live, and you can watch on Periscope. We are working on a situation where we can have guests and be on Periscope with a larger frame so you can see what I'm doing. We haven't gotten there yet, but that is coming down the line. And then also Instagram is about to launch live video as well. So if you're an Instagrammer, I will be over there as well. You can also watch on selfreliantlife.tv. You can watch the replay. And if you are watching the replay, welcome to you. You can also download this as a podcast in iTunes and Stitcher. If you'd rather listen in your earbuds, then you can definitely listen that way. So we are live every Thursday at 1 p.m. Eastern, 10 a.m. Pacific. And then just a note, we are a live show. So if we drop off for any reason, don't worry, you can catch the replay at selfreliantlife.tv. Okay, so if you're watching on Facebook, I would appreciate it if you would tap the screen. That can give you, I think, a thumbs up and hearts. That lets me know that what you're seeing is something that you like. And I would love it also if you would share, because that gets this show into the feed of like-minded people, and that just helps us out that much more. Okay. Also, I wanted to let you know that Facebook has changed their notifications. And I laid this all out in the email that I send out. I send out an email before each show as well. So if you're not satisfied with Facebook notifications or Periscope notifications, be sure and subscribe to our email list, because I send out an email 30 minutes before the show starts. And that way you will be notified by email. And then in there are directions for turning on notifications for Facebook. So you'll have that as well. Okay, so if you want to go to the show notes for this particular episode, you can go to selfreliantlife.tv/025. I have 24 written down here, but I know we are on episode 25. Okay, if I'm just showing up in your feed and you're wondering who the heck is this person, my name is Jennifer Osuch. And I'm the author of the Preparedness Planner series. My husband and I teach gardening, preserving, and cooking skills at selfreliantschool.com. And then I'm also the host of this show, the Self-Reliant Living Show. Okay, so today, basically, what I wanted to do is get that mac and cheese on and get it cooking while we talk. And I want to take questions about the Instant Pot. Like I said, I'm just going to go over here and look to see who is watching. Hi, Jackie. Hi, Stuart. Always good to see you. Jackie says, I'm late to the party and having trouble streaming, but at least I can see your pretty face. Thank you, Jackie. That was so sweet. That made my day. Okay, and Stuart says winter came early where he is. Yeah, it took a while to get here. I mean, I think it's still officially fall, but this is our first really cold day in 2 years, because we had a really mild winter last year. So, but anyway, what I want to do is I want to take your questions about the Instant Pot. So please go ahead and put them in the comments. And as you do that, I am going to answer some that have already been sent to me. So the first one is from Katie. And she says, what are the must-have accessories for the Instant Pot? Now, if you'll notice, we just put it on for 4 minutes. If you're just joining us, we just put this mac and cheese on for 4 minutes. And it says on, it's not going to start counting down until it comes up to pressure. Okay, so squirrel, right? So back to the accessories. What I would say is to actually wait until you have gotten an Instant Pot, if you have not already gotten an Instant Pot, because some of the things in your kitchen might already fit in there. That being said, there are a couple of things. I've got a shelf down here, so let me grab them. One of them is the glass lid, and what this does is this will help you cook with the Instant Pot as a slow cooker, so you can just go ahead and put it on if you're wanting to slow cook something. And then also you could use it with the saute function or the keeping warm, whatever it is that you need to see through here. This would not be a lid that you would use when you were pressure cooking, but this is one accessory. If you have to go out and get some accessories, this would be one that I would recommend. And then also the next one, sorry, I'm talking under the table. The next one would be this silicone storage lid. So what you would do is you would take your inner pot out, and maybe you have some leftovers, and what you would do is you would just put this lid on, and you could put the whole inner pot into the refrigerator or freezer, whatever that you have for storage. So those would be two accessories I'd recommend. And then also you could use a towel, or you could use regular pot holders, but these are pretty nifty. And what you do is you just lift out the inner pot because it's hot, of course, when you take the lid off. And you can see it's steaming, it's coming up to pressure, and that's just fine. That's what it's supposed to do. And so we should hopefully have it up to pressure, and the timer should start counting down here in a minute. Okay, so the next question is from Joy, and she says, why an Instant Pot over a slow cooker? Okay, well, there is a couple of reasons why. First of all, your Instant Pot is a slow cooker. So, you don't really have to do without your slow cooker. You still have your slow cooker when you have an Instant Pot. But the thing is that you can also pressure cook with the Instant Pot. And then you can do other things as well, because it's like having a hot pot when you use a hot plate when you use the saute function. It's like just cooking over a burner on your stove. So one of the reasons, I would say the biggest reason, is because of all these multi-functions, and you can choose which function is best for the food that you're cooking. So that would be one of the things that I would say as to why an Instant Pot over a slow cooker. Like I said, an Instant Pot is a slow cooker, so you're really not doing without. But in case you didn't know that, because there are, there's a lot of information going on about the Instant Pot everywhere. It seems to be all the rage. And I don't see a lot of people really talking about the slow cooker function, but it is. And it is a slow cooker, and it's a great slow cooker. I just made some wonderful apple butter in the Instant Pot. So it does really, really well. And there are 3 different temperatures as well. I know that a lot of slow cookers don't have temperature settings. So, okay, so Dana says, how do I clean my inner pot? Okay, so cleaning the inner pot, and I'm also keeping an eye over here on your questions. The best way to clean the inner pot, there's a lot of suggestions out there, and I don't recommend anything harsh because of the residue and the just the toxicity of it. I recommend that you use vinegar. And what I have done in the past is I have made a solution of water and vinegar, probably 3 cups of water, and then 1 cup of vinegar, and put it on for 5 minutes on high pressure. And then when it's done, I let it cool down and come to natural pressure, or come down to naturally. Let the pressure just come down naturally. Don't do the quick release or anything like that. And that helps it tremendously. That makes it really shiny and all of that. If you have gunky stuff in the bottom, you could try a little bit of baking soda. That works really well. So Heather is asking, can you use a frozen meat in it? And yes, you can. You can put frozen meat right in there, and then it will cook. The only thing about using something that's frozen is that it's going to take a little bit more time to come up to pressure, but it cooks just fine. And that's one of the great things about it as well, is you can put frozen things in there. And so come on in. I see there's other people watching, and if you would just go ahead and comment and let me know that you're there, I would appreciate it so much. Hello, Kathy. Hello, Dawn. She has hot green tea as well. Yes, it's really good this time of year. But I'm having coffee later, so I'm not forgetting my coffee. Okay, so like I said, go ahead and leave your questions in the comments so I can answer them. All right, so let's see. The next question is from Stephanie, and she says, she asks, how do you brown meat in the Instant Pot? Okay, so I'm so glad that she asked this question, because how you can brown meat is there is a saute function, and basically I just mentioned it a minute ago, and that's going to turn your Instant Pot into like a hot pot, or just like you had something on your burner on your stove, and you can put whatever it is that you need to put in there, and you can brown your meat. I use it oftentimes just to brown hamburger, especially if I'm making a one pot meal. I'll just go ahead and brown the hamburger inside the Instant Pot, then I'll add my other ingredients, and then that makes wonderful cleanup because there's not as many pots and pans. You can brown a roast. You can go ahead and put it on the saute function, and then you can brown your roast on all sides. So that is the saute button, and that, what it'll do, like I said, is it'll make the bottom hot, just like it was you were doing something on your stove on a burner. So that is a great function. That's another reason I love the Instant Pot, because you can do all of these things in it. It's just wonderful. Okay, so Kathy is saying nothing sticks. No, I mean, it's stainless steel, so not really though, because here's the thing. When you cook in a pressure cooker, all of the moisture remains in there, so you don't have that sort of drying out that you might if you were cooking over the stove. Now, if you use the saute function, that is like, using a burner, and so, you may have something going on there if you don't watch it, but you should never walk away from your stove anyway. And there, that starts the timer, so now we know that there's going to be 4 minutes until our mac and cheese is done. But and it keeps beeping, right? Okay, so, but no, nothing sticks, because like I said, all that moisture is locked in there, and you don't have that problem. So, Bill's over here talking to me, and I have no idea what he's talking about.
It did a 4, 3, 2, 1 countdown.
Oh, it did?
Yes.
Okay. So did it not work? Oh, it's already done. Duh. I was talking. Okay, so now our mac and cheese is done. So now what you need to do is, because it's already come up to pressure, so thank you, Bill, for telling me that, because like I said, I'm out of my element and it's not facing me, so I don't know what to do because I can't see it very well. So what you're going to want to do right when it's finished, like now, you can tell that it's gone on the keep warm setting, is to take a towel and go ahead, and you don't want to push the towel down. You just want to sort of drape it over lightly, and we're going to release the steam. And I'm going to do that. You can use a spoon, you can use some tongs or whatever. I'm just going to use my fingers because I am already got this towel over here. But you don't want to go ahead and clog this valve. And so you wouldn't want to push down. But and this is called a quick release. I'm quickly releasing the steam that was in there, the pressure that was in there. So I'm just going to let that go for a second. And you probably can see the steam. I don't know if you can see it on the camera, but there's lots of steam coming up. And a towel will also help if you live in an area that's really humid and you're worried about mold or something like that. This will really help cut down on the steam going everywhere. And especially if you're doing it like me, not in your kitchen, that might be something that you are worried about, and this will take care of that. Okay, so while that's coming down, Misty says, I want one. Yes, well, you would love it. So I highly recommend getting one because, like I said, they do so many things, and you can get rid of some of those other appliances that are just taking up room. Okay, so this is coming down to pressure, and let me just look here. Okay, so I can see right here. I know you guys can't see on the camera, but on the lid there's a little indicator that all of the pressure is down. So what I'm going to do is I am going to open it up, and I'm going to open it up away from me because I'm creating a shield there just in case. Okay, so and get all the moisture here off, and then I'm gonna put it right here in the lid holder. Is that cool or what? Okay, so remember what I had in there. I have whole wheat pasta, I have elbow macaroni in there, and then I have a little bit of butter, 3 tablespoons, and I have almost 4 cups of water, 3 3/4 cup, and a little bit of salt. So what I'm gonna do is I've got 2 cups of raw milk, cheddar cheese, and I'm just gonna dump it in there. That's all I'm gonna do. And then I have 1 cup of cream. You could use milk, or you could use, you could use half and half. You could use whatever you want. I have growing boys, so I need the maximum amount of calories and fat because I've got to fill them up, right? So, and then I'm just gonna stir it and stir it just for a second. This is gonna let all that cheese melt and then warm up the cream. So, here we go. Okay, and I'm gonna look and see what kind of comments you guys are leaving. Melanie says, what size would be the best for a family of 6? That is kind of a hard question because the thing is that the Instant Pot comes in 2 sizes. It comes in a 6-quart and an 8-quart. And if you were just, if you're just only going to get one and you knew, that was it, then I would recommend the 8-quart because it is bigger and it can do, bigger 1-pot meals, that sort of thing. If you have any love for the Instant Pot, which I know you will once you get it, then I might recommend instead of getting an 8-quart to get 2 6-quarts, because the thing is you can cook so much more at the same time. Now there are tricks to going ahead and just using the 8-quart to cook more than one thing. What you can do is you can stack your different foods in there. There are things that will fit inside the Instant Pot, little pots, smaller pots, so you could put vegetables in there, and then you could go ahead and put some meat in there or whatever it was that you wanted to cook, and you could have it all done almost at the same time. Another trick that you could do is you could get a second inner pot, because you can buy these just on their own, and that way when this you've got the one Instant Pot and then this dish is done, then you immediately take your other one that you've already prepared in the other inner pot and put it in there. So you could do stuff that way. If you're a big batch cooker, though, I'd probably go ahead and get the 8-quart, especially like I said, if you know that you only have one for a room, I should say, for one, then I would definitely think about getting the bigger one, especially for a family of 6. And so let's see. Misty says, I just buy my own presents. I like how you think. Yes, that's a good thing. Okay. And Kathy is saying, already on my wish list. Okay, yes. Because it is a perfect gift for somebody. Okay, so let me show you this mac and cheese that we just made. I'm going to go ahead and get all of my other empty dishes out of the way, and then I want to show it to you. And it is super creamy. It's super good. I wish you guys could see it. There's nothing like seeing it in person. Okay, so I'm just gonna scoop. I know this is a lot, but my kids, this is nothing for them. I'll probably end up having to make another batch for lunch today because they love this stuff. Okay, so there you go. Perfect Instant Pot mac and cheese. And I think that this is better than the stuff in the oven because it's so moist. There's no dry spots. It's perfect. Now, if you are one of those people that are in love with those breadcrumbs that are on the top of baked mac and cheese, what you could do is you could take it out and you could put it in a casserole dish and put some breadcrumbs and then put it under the broiler for maybe 5 minutes or so. You could even do that in a toaster oven, so you wouldn't have to turn on your oven if you didn't want to, but this time of year you might want to, I don't know. Okay, so let's see. Hey Janine, hi, my sister. I love you, my dear sister. She is tuning in. She says she always watches, but she always watches the replay, but today she is watching live. So hello to you. Okay, so I'm going to continue to take a few questions here. I don't want to go too much over the time. I'm always thinking, oh my goodness, the show's going over. And usually it's for a really good reason, and this is too, but I'm trying to get it into that 30-minute slot because I know that is the perfect slot, like for exercise and doing other things, so that you can be done and you don't have to stand there, because when I'm exercising, I'm always standing there and listening to the rest of the podcast. Okay, not my own, other people's podcasts. Okay, so Jessica asked, will this work for traveling? And yes, it will. It will work for traveling. It's just almost perfect if you have an RV. That is a great appliance to have in an RV. It's probably the only one that you would need for cooking. So that it would be a great gift for somebody who has an RV, or if you have an RV, you definitely want to think about getting an Instant Pot. Now, the thing is that if you're going to use it in like a hotel setting, you're going to want to make sure that your hotel room is set up like with a kitchenette and stuff like that, maybe a stove, because you don't want to use it and then have the aroma, of the food everywhere, and people are wondering, what is that? I mean, it might be a good thing, it might be a bad thing in terms of, them not knowing what's going on and thinking that something's burning or whatever. I don't think they would, but the thing is that you want to check with the hotel for sure to make sure it's okay. But it would definitely work, and it would be a great option for people who travel a lot. Okay, so I'm going to look and see, what meat do you cook in it? Okay, so all meats. You can cook a roast, you can cook chicken, you can cook seafood, you can cook pork, you can do ribs, you can cook just, almost any meat that you can think of would go really good in here. And like I said, the best thing about cooking meat in the Instant Pot is that it does not dry out, because like I said, all of that moisture is locked in there so that you don't have dry meat. And that is something that, everybody struggles with, especially in the oven, because different meat behaves different ways and different ovens cycle on and off in different ways. Okay, so I'm going to take 2 more questions here from Chris. I see a lot of people putting their Instant Pot on the stove. Why do you say not to do that? Okay. All right. So you should not put your Instant Pot on the stove. The reason people do it is because of that venting that you just saw. They want to use their stove vent for that so that it absorbs some of the moisture. But the thing is that when you put it on the stove, you might turn on the wrong burner, and then you would destroy the bottom part. You'd destroy the whole thing. It wouldn't work anymore. And there have been a lot of reports from everywhere that people are doing that. So I would not recommend putting it on the stove at all. Even if you have a really small kitchen, I would just, really try and make a space for it other than on the stove, because I would never want you to destroy the Instant Pot because of an accident. That would be very sad. Okay, so Pamela says, I would love to do small jars of jam in it. How do we find instructions? Okay, Pamela, that's a really good question, and you bring up something that is a really good thing to mention here, and that is that this is a pressure cooker. It's not a pressure canner. And what Pamela is talking about is not pressure canning. She's talking about water bath canning. There are 2 different kinds of canning. Basically, I would not do that, Pamela, and here's why. Um, you would have to boil a large amount of water in here, and um, that could be dangerous because it's, especially if you are up close to it, there is a max fill line and you shouldn't go above that even when you don't have the lid on, because it could splash out, and it's relatively small in terms of a canning pot, because canners are really large. So I would not recommend canning even small batches of jam in an Instant Pot. I would go ahead and use your canner. That way you have the adequate space to do that. And then along those lines of a canner, do not pressure can in the Instant Pot. That is not safe. The temperature is not as high, does not get up as high as a pressure canner pressure canner. Make sure I say that right. Pressure canner on the stove, and you have to reach certain temperatures when you pressure can to be sure to kill the bacteria that causes botulism. So no pressure canning at all in the Instant Pot. Not safe. If you want to try water bath canning, you could, but like I said, I don't recommend doing that because it's in a small space and it's an electric appliance, and you would have to keep the lid off to do that. You could use your glass lid, but you'd still have to monitor that and make sure that it was a continuous boil. And so I just would not do that. I would take the time and have the space in my bigger canner to do that, even small batch. And I think that Ball makes some appliances that are small batch, and those are so much safer because they're designed to do that. The Instant Pot is not designed as a canner. Okay, so I'm going to take one more question here, and this one is from Mary. Bill is very aggravated because I keep going behind that graphic there. What does ENW at the end of the model mean? Okay, so that's a very good question because that's just something that's pretty new, and that is the ending of the Instant Pot that comes from Walmart. They have an exclusive deal with Instant Pot, and so what that does is that particular pot, it has the latest firmware in it, and so it does a few extra things than the other pots, the other Instant Pots that don't have that suffix on it. And I think the biggest one, if you care about this, is that if you use any of the programmable buttons and then you change that, it will remember the last setting. It won't keep it forever. It's not like you can program it forever, but it will remember the last one. So if the presets are really, really important to you, that's the closest you're going to get to having it be programmable. But other than that, there's not too much significant that's different with the two of them. So, just depending on where you can find a good deal. I know Amazon has had some really, really good deals on the Instant Pot here lately, and I'm sure the other big shopping day is the day after Christmas. So I'm sure that there will be some more deals on the Instant Pot. Okay, so I am just going to look really quick to make sure that I've got everybody there in the comments. And like I said, if you're watching the replay, welcome, and you can leave comments on selfreliantlife.tv. You can also leave them on Facebook, and I will come back and answer them throughout the day and longer. Sometimes people don't get around to watching it for a couple days, and I'm always happy to take questions. Okay, so if you have joined us in the middle of this episode, I have been making mac and cheese, and we got that done really quick. I didn't even know it was done. And you can see this beautiful real whole wheat mac and cheese that my kids are about to dig into. And so that's what we have been doing today on the show. Like I said, if you're new to pressure cooking, I would love to give you here's the big thing today, is my quick start guide. I just finished this, and so I'm so excited to release it. You guys are the first ones to hear about it. And so I have a quick start guide to pressure cooking, and you can go to selfreliantschool.com/PC, and you can get that. It's completely free, and it is my gift to you, and I hope that will help you decide if an Instant Pot is right for you. It also goes over the lingo that we've been talking about, quick release and natural release and high pressure and low pressure. So go and grab that, like I said, completely free. And so remember, being self-reliant is not about being selfish. It's not all about you. It's about taking care of yourself so you can take care of the ones that you love. Take care until we talk again. I'm so glad you could join me today. Here's what to do next. Head over to selfreliantlife.tv to pick up the show notes for this episode and to watch replays of older episodes. To go directly to the show notes for this episode, go to selfreliantlife.tv, and then without a space, type a / and then the number of today's episode. You can watch this show live every Thursday at 1 p.m. Eastern, 10 a.m. Pacific, live on Facebook or the Periscope app. Don't forget to stop by selfreliantschool.com/free to get your free Self-Reliant School videos that will help you get started living a self-reliant life. Also, if you're listening to this show as a podcast and you've liked what you've heard today, please subscribe through Stitcher, iTunes, or your favorite podcast app. If you're on a mobile device, just search for the Self-Reliant Living Show. If you're on a laptop or desktop, just go to selfreliantlife.tv/iTunes. And while you're there, please leave a review. I love to hear from you. You leaving feedback makes it easier for others that are interested in living a self-reliant life to find my podcast. Take care until we talk again.